Well, good morning, everybody. I am the Bald Guy. I am so happy you have returned as we continue our look into Genesis chapter 6. Now, we're going to be focusing on 18, which is this covenant that God makes with Noah. Now, if you remember last time in our story, we were discussing Jesus, God being sitting with Noah, telling him everything that's going to happen, and that two of every kind of animal was going to come to him. And he's going to put them on this ark, and they're going to be safe. And he makes this covenant. And while he's talking to him, he makes a covenant. And he says that I'm making this covenant with you. Well, what covenant? What does that mean? Well, the Hebrew word is bereth, which, is a cutting, an oath between two parties. Now, there are two different kinds that we can focus on, okay? And one is a binary. Now, a binary means, of course, two people, two different sets of people come together and agree on something. And a non-binary is just one party agreeing to something to someone else. They don't agree to nothing, but that one person agrees to it and it stays. Now, to understand what each covenant is talking about, because a covenant appears like 280 times in the Old Testament and 33 times in the New. So to understand each covenant and the meaning, you're going to have to go to that particular verse and how it applies. Now, when God makes one, it's permanent. It's for good, folks. I mean, this is it. He says he makes it with that particular person or people, and just like he made covenant with Israel and so forth and so on, it's good, okay? And it's going to happen. Pretty much, that's it. I mean, this is God making it, folks. I mean, really. So, now if two people make it, God's given an example how to be, that when we make something, we're supposed to agree to it too, and it's supposed to be a permanent contract, okay? And we make these covenants all the time, folks. Marriage. Hey, when you're buying a house, you make a covenant. And then you're agreeing to make those payments until it belongs to you. So that it belongs to another person, whether it's a bank or whatever. And you're making a covenant with them that you're going to pay them this amount of money until the house is yours. And same thing when you make a rental contract for a place. You're agreeing to stay there and take care of the place and pay them money to be able to stay there for so many years. So, and I know today that they have, said you don't have to do this and you don't have to do that. But no, live up to your covenant, folks. We'll talk about that in a minute. However, we're going to go back to here and to this particular verse. God makes this covenant with Noah. He's sitting there and he's telling him, Noah, listen, I'm going to bring these animals to you. You're going to go on this ark. I'm going to seal it up and you are going to be safe. Okay? This is my promise. This is my covenant to you. Okay? And it also has a little deeper meaning, because the covenant, he's also saying that you and your family are going to start anew. Okay? And my line's coming from you. Okay? Because remember, no one knows this whole story of all the way back to Adam and Eve, the Sethites, Canaanites, the split. I mean, the whole thing. He's seen it all. Okay? He's heard it all from his side, and they've kept God in their hearts. And so God is reaffirming that there's nothing going to happen to you. So you never have to worry I mean, because he was a guy, I'm sure, in his head, he was kind of thinking, this is scary stuff. I'm going to obey it, but it's scary. And that's what we think today, too. And God was reassuring him by making this breath with him, this covenant with him. That's going to be okay. So, like I said, if you want to know what each meaning is, just go to that verse to understand between this. What's really interesting is Old Testament, when some of them made it, there are different ways covenants were made, for marriage and things like that. But when in the Old Testament, when two people were making one, they would take this animal and cut it apart. I mean, you can read about this later. It's wild. And split it. And then we go between it. Yeah, an animal cut in half. Never mention what kind of animal, but, probably an ox or something, It's a big animal, there's a big separation there. So, that happened a couple times in there. Can't wait till you guys get to that. That's amazing. Anyway, like I said, so we can't overlook that. Okay? And Noah pretty much did everything that God commanded him. So it's amazing. So now my next video, we're going to kind of scoop this thing up so we can continue on to where he actually goes on. And we're going to talk about the animals that came on the ark. Because I know there's a lot of questions on that, for these animals. Were there dinosaurs on there? How do you know there were dinosaurs on there? And where are they at now? Interesting. So, I'm going to make sure nobody's around so you can hear this from me. All right. I'm going to give you a little hint. Yes. They were on there. And we'll discuss that next time. So, here is my final thought, folks. And what we can get out of each covenant in the Bible. First, God is in that covenant each and every time, folks. Okay? Honor your covenants no matter what. Okay? You honor, if you make a covenant, if you make a pact, whether it's a marriage, whether it's anything else, you honor it. Okay? And you have to put God in it. Otherwise, it's not going to work out so well. Why do you think countries go to war? Because God is not part of that covenant. Okay? You know why the Constitution is held up so long? It's because when the government, the people that formed the government, made up the Constitution, they had God in it. Okay, it was God-centered, it was Bible-centered, so they were making a covenant with the people and having God at the center. And it has held up all this time until now because of they had put God in it. Amazing how long things can last if you keep God at the focus. Okay. Now, I'm going to focus on something about this while we're talking about a covenant. Let me veer on something because this is a heated, big thing. And it's the marriage covenant, folks. I'm going to tell you, this divorce crap, stop it. If you are going to get married, put God first. He is the center. If you're already married and even thinking about a divorce, stop. Get right with God. Okay? Don't do it. There's only one exception to that rule. And even if there has been adultery, if that other person is willing to get help, whether it's pornography or whether it's an actual adulterous affair, that person is ready to repent and get help. Yes, both of you get help, but don't get divorced over it. Not unless they do it again. But get help first, okay? It is a legal way to break that covenant. Yes, you can do it. But I beg you not to. Okay? God can restore the marriage if you put him first and both get the help that's needed to overcome it, then you can do it. Now, here's the other side of the coin. Abuse. Physical or mental, get out. That covenant is broken. The moment a man laid a hand on his woman, on his wife, or his kids, get out. Even if the woman does it, get out. Okay, yes. If you're that person that's doing it, you get out. You get help. Okay? Don't stay there. Let God work it out later. Okay? Don't stay there. Don't do that. Don't say, I got to stay in this marriage and let that person continue to do this thing to you. No. Or to your children. No. Okay? You get out and that person gets the help they need. Okay? You come to God over it. Laying a hand on your woman or child is never okay. Ever, 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 ever. Okay? We are to lead our family. We are to lead our family in a godly way. So, if you're in that kind of relationship, get out. Let God take care of it and work itself out. You may get together later if there is true repentance way down the road, because it's going to take a while. Believe me, they do it once, they're going to do it again. So, don't stay in that. Ever, ever, ever. Don't stay in that. First time it happens, gone. Okay? And, all right? But, you know, if there's an adultery, get both of you get help. Now, if the other person's not going to get help for it, and all they're going to do is say, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Just, you know, like a guy who hits a woman says that, and then they go and do it again. No. There's got to be terms to that. Well, no, we are going to go to a counselor. You're going to see a private counselor. We're going to get specific help for this issue. Make it a Christian one, okay? Don't go to these nut jobs who don't believe in God, because you're just going to get led down the wrong path in that one. Find you a good, godly Christian counselor. Okay? So, I will end it there with my deal on pacts. You stay with them and you honor them. I know that in today's society, they're saying, hey, you ain't got to pay rent because of, you know, this pandemic or whatever. You know, we're going to give you a grace period where you can just sit in this house for free. No. Honor it. Okay? Talk to the people. Talk to your landlords or your bank or whatever if you can't pay, if something's going on. You know, they will work with you. They will help you honor that contract. But you honor your side of the deal. Okay? It is wrong to do that. All right? You don't just not going to nix on car payments or on other payments. Okay? You made a contract to take care of your stuff. So do that. You honor it for how many ever years it is to be honored. If you sign something for 5 years, then 5 years it is. You think of it before you do it. Okay? Bring it down to a year if you're renting or whatever. Okay? Put God first and be God honoring in everything you do. Okay? All right. So, like I said, I'm going to end it there. We're going to discuss the animals in part 5. So, I will see you then. I am the bald guy. I am out of here. Peace, love. Hey, and honor those covenants, folks. God does, and so should we. I'm out of here.